Warriors, rise! The new world order is very, very close, Warriors. And digital currency is the future. So we're going to watch some videos. We're going to break down what's happening in America right now. And remember, Warriors, this is not doom and gloom. This is the greatest time in human history. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, Warriors, we're going to kick it off with a video. This is let's show you where this video came from really quick. So this was from Bloomberg here. We're going to show you a short clip. It's the Great Power Competition, the Emerging World Order. Okay, so we're going to watch this short clip. This was in 2021, not too long ago, in November 2021, where Hillary Clinton, our favorite Hillary Clinton, is going to talk about digital currencies and the threats that are on the horizon. Now, one thing I want to share with you, Warriors, that's why I keep telling people you got to be very careful what cryptos you're invested in, because with regulation, we have no idea which cryptos are going to stay here. Okay, we have no idea which cryptos are going to stay. I'm talking America specifically. What I am focusing on is ISO 20022 and cryptocurrencies that are going to be changing the international and global and local banking systems. That's my biggest focus. Okay. I'm in NFTs. I have all that stuff going on. I have a company that does that stuff. But my main focus is the things that where I believe the elites are moving to and the infrastructure they're going to use. So we're going to watch this video first, and then we're going to jump around a little bit, talking about unemployment, really setting up the narrative for you, because you can see it physically now. The stuff I've been talking about for 2 years, you can now physically see it happening. Before, it was pie in the sky, tinfoil hat. Okay. I told you guys, as you look this way, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. And now you're being presented with facts, figures, numbers, logic. So let's watch this first video from Hillary Clinton and at this conference with India's there, UK is there, and this is USA represented by Hillary Clinton.
Power moves. And I think one of the areas that nation states have got to pay greater attention to is the rise of these asymmetric power centers. Some of them operate either with the approval or even in full cooperation with state actors, like you see with the Kremlin. Some of them are independent, but we're going to be facing increasing challenges. The way that technology has developed, the incredible use of disinformation in the political sphere and the economic sphere is only going to get worse. The rise of artificial intelligence is going to threaten nation states, going to threaten multinational corporations. And then one more area that I hope nation states start paying greater attention to is the rise of cryptocurrency, because what looks like a very interesting and somewhat exotic effort to literally mine new coins in order to trade with them has the potential for undermining currencies, for undermining the role of the dollar as the reserve currency, for destabilizing nations, perhaps starting with small ones, but going much larger. So when we think about this new environment in which we find ourselves that we've been discussing for the last some minutes, we can't just think about nation states. And Putin is a great example of that. Because with his oligarchic coterie, he has utilized many non-state actors to pursue personal as well as nationalistic goals. And I think that's going to become a greater and greater threat. And
okay, Warriors, so this isn't just about you becoming rich. This is about a battle between the countries. Okay, so this is signals that we are moving fast into a digital currency. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that cryptocurrency is going to explode per se. How my perspective works is I'm looking at the cryptocurrencies that are going to run and build the infrastructure that these companies and countries will operate on, right? So that's why I've always been obsessed with the ISO 20002 cryptocurrencies, because I understand banking. I spent 12 years in the banking system, okay? If you want access to my portfolio, our exit strategy, and our 120-day challenge, you can click the description down below to join today, okay? So check this out. So China Central Bank launches digital yuan. Whoop, get that ad out of there. China Central Bank launches digital yuan wallet apps for Android and iOS. Okay. So this came out yesterday. So this is moving from concept to they've already activated on this, Warriors, and now they've activated on the wallets for their apps on Android and iOS. Okay. We have central banks can shape the future. This is right off of Bloomberg. Central banks can shape the future of digital finance. Government issued digital currencies are on their way, and getting this transition right is essential. Whereas this is one of the biggest conversations happening everywhere. I mean, think about this. This is a great power competition. This is an emerging world order on Bloomberg New Economy, and they're talking about cryptocurrency. There's a lot of other stuff they talk about. That was a small blurb from Hillary Clinton. But actually, let's really dive into that. It wasn't about cryptocurrency. This thing had nothing to do with finances. She brings that up. So that's how deep this is on their mind, Warriors. You got China moving their central bank to apps already. They have apps ready to launch, ready to go. You got America moving fast into digital currencies. And Jerome Powell made you think that we're just kind of sitting back. We're going to get the public's opinion when he was part of the BIS. The BIS Innovation Hub already in January 2021, Warriors. Okay, now this is important to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to this narrative, because this is where they move you into that UBI, Universal Basic Income. We're all getting these $250 checks if you have kids, and many Americans are not optimistic about their financial situation this year. Here's what they have to blame, right? They have to blame inflation, 6.8% in November from a year ago, the fastest pace since 1982. Remember, we attached from the gold standard 10 years before that, according to U.S. Department of Labor. People are paying more for everything from gas for their cars to food, to put food on the table. Energy prices have gone up 33%. Housing costs, okay, categories of shelter and the consumer price index increased 3.8%, the highest since 2007. Meanwhile, food prices have jumped 6.1%. I mean, this is wild, Wars. In the 1980s, we had a spike to 15%. That was about 9 years after we detached from the gold standard. Things kind of stabilized a little bit. Look at 2007, we spiked a little bit up to about 3.7%. 6.8%. So if we head up to the 1980s, Warriors, now remember, in the 1980s, around my parents bought a house in the night around that time, a little bit earlier than that. They paid 23% interest for their house, but interest rates on savings accounts were like 16, 17%. Now we're January 23rd is the FMOC meeting. They stopped the tapering. They took us off life support. That's the printing of money. And then now they're going to start raising interest rates, and you're going to start to see the 6.8 skyrocket. So the value of your money is going to continue to decrease. Watch the video I did yesterday, okay? So check this out. A record 4.5 million workers quit their jobs in November. Okay, a record 4.5 million workers quit their job in November, while job openings declined 10.6 million. Restaurants and healthcare workers are responsible for much of the surge in the quits. Manufacturing activities also explained in December, but less than expected. So this is wild, Warriors. You're seeing this big mass exodus of employees. And so here's a cool little video that they did right here. This is on the Great Recession. So they're talking about this nonstop all over the media and the news wars. So this was a whole thing they did. I would highly recommend you go watch this. Let me just restart this real quick. This was done by CNBC. Yeah, CNBC. So it's called the Great Recession. So they're talking about this wars. They're predictive programming everybody that their world is changing. We're going to watch the first couple minutes.
Are reassessing the way they work. According to an August 2021 poll, more than half of workers surveyed said they plan to look for a new job in the coming year. 56% of respondents said adjustable working hours and remote work were a priority. And while some people have left the workforce entirely, job security and better pay are also top concerns for employees.
It's time to find something that is going to be better for my family, something more stable, something that I can provide where I don't have to go to work and be like, oh, is he going to, am I going to get fired today? Or is he not going to be happy with, the service?
In August 2021, almost 4.3 million Americans quit their job. The resignation rate hit a 20-year high of 2.9%. Working women have faced an even heavier burden, juggling childcare duties, virtual schooling, and their careers.
We're all able to take a step back in the last year and spend more time doing other things and really question the value of what we're doing at work. A number of people have made the decision, I need to make a change. I need to simplify.
Dubbed the Great Resignation, the exodus of workers has left millions of jobs unfilled and created hiring challenges for companies. So what does the realignment of the workforce mean for employees and businesses? And what steps should you take before quitting your job?
Okay, so they're literally showing you what steps to take, and it's a whole video on how to quit your job and how to go into the new workforce warriors. This is predictive programming. This is what people are watching on TV. Okay, now we're going to dive into wealth distribution. This is really important, warriors. Okay, the wealth distribution gap has become massive. So if you're driving, this is going to be a very visual video. So if you're driving, so I'll narrate it because I know a lot of you guys watch these while you're driving. So keep your hands on 10 and 2 or 8 and whatever the hell it is. All right, so we're going to watch this and I'll narrate through this a little bit. So it says top 10% of the U.S. families owned by 76% of the wealth. Okay, so top 10% of the U.S. families owned by 76% of the wealth. That's 12.9 families own 76% of the wealth. The top 10% of U.S. families own it. It gives you a visual representation. The middle 40% own 22% of the wealth. The bottom 50% only own 1% of the wealth. 64 million, 0.3 families. These are all the people leaving their jobs. What are they going to do, warriors? That's why Jerome Powell says you're moving into a new economy, leverage towards technology. The people will rely off the government through a central bank digital currency so they can get their money quicker. $13.4 million families in this group had a negative net worth. Negative. And they show you a visual representation. It's pretty scary, warriors. Pretty scary. Now, that was in 2019, okay? Since the pandemic, the billionaires in the world have become much wealthier, okay? A lot of people in the tech industries have become, moving up to the billionaire ranks or multi-millionaires. Now, this is important, warriors. I want you to pay attention to this, okay? So this is my perspective. So why have more CEOs than ever? 1,300 CEOs left their post in this last year. Now, this article, warriors, is from 2019. All of a sudden, we had a mass exodus of CEOs in 2019. Now, if you dive into it and you take a look at the narrative around it on the news, like, oh, a lot of them had scandals. 1,300 CEOs had scandals, or 50% of them had scandals. 50% of them had scandals. They know what the fuck is going on. 1,300 CEOs left their jobs. In October, around October 2019, they did a simulation for a virus. And all of a sudden in March, we had a virus. Okay, they did a cyber attack simulation on the back end of last year. And now we did all our spending and people are drunk and hungover from their spending. And they're just trying to survive. And millions of people are leaving their job, warriors. This is the Great Depression all over again. So you should expect a financial collapse, and it shouldn't scare you, warriors, because you've been preparing. And I wanted to show you this really quickly, is that markets and economies brace as the Federal Reserve's first rate hike could come in 2 months, which this was on January 3rd, 2022. The FOMC meeting, I think, is on the 23rd of January. And when they start raising those interest rates, warriors, and inflation starts going out of control, which it is right now in Turkey, 36% in Turkey, we're at 6 point. This is their numbers. These numbers that they come up with, their number is what, 6.8 or 6.2%. Warriors, like real inflation, I think is like 15.2% or something like that. It's absolutely crazy, Warriors. I mean, so don't believe the numbers that they're showing you. So what can you do, right? You got to get yourself set up in assets, physical assets. I'm working to buy companies. I'm working to get physical things. I'm doing the best I can with the resources I have, right? So I'm putting my wealth into an insurance policy as well. Some of my wealth into insurance policy. I'm buying silver. I'm stacked in cryptocurrency. I'm just still dollar cost averaging in, but I'm kind of in a holding patterns right now. So if I was not in cryptocurrency, I'd be dollar cost averaging into cryptocurrency. Okay. So I dollar cost average every single week. Am I buying large sums? No. I'm waiting for the big pullback to buy back in. I have a strict exit strategy. Okay. That's in our academy. You can fill out the exit strategy, Warriors. The key is the reason why we created the academy is we have had almost 3,800 warriors go through it that have changed their life, Warriors. It's a community of like-minded people. So you can be in an area where you can ask questions and be around the right vibration so you can survive this, Warriors. A lot of people aren't going to survive this mentally, physically, nor spiritually, nor financially. There's going to be mass suicides. Suicides are through the roof right now. And this is not doom and gloom. This is nothing new under the sun. I'm trying to teach people that you are the most powerful human being in the world, Warriors. That you are beautiful, that you are amazing, that you are abundant, that you are successful. You already have everything you need. You already have everything you need, Warriors. So I love you. I appreciate you. I would love to have you part of our academy. I'd love to have you part of our free Discord and our Facebook group. Click the description down below to check it out. If you haven't checked out the other free resources I have, the Coach JV podcast. It's one of the top podcasts on Apple's and motivation, on Apple iTunes, Ellipson, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. It's the Coach JV podcast. It's a short motivation podcast to inspire and motivate you to greatness. All right, Warriors, have a great day, and I hope to see you on the other side. Warriors! Rise.